Hey, what's up, everybody? It is November. Is this our ninth or our eighth presentation online?
That's an excellent question. It is the 11th month of the year, and we started it in March, which is the third month.
So,
of
sixth.
the year.
All right, cool. So, for those of you who are new, I'm Austin Heck.
And I'm Curtis Cummings.
We run the New Orleans Game Jam. Or New Orleans Game, New Orleans Game Dev Meetup. I've got so many things in my mind. So why don't you go ahead and flip that over?
What? How bad I flipped it over? Here we go.
There we go. So, for those that are returning, welcome. For those that are new, hello. This is New Orleans Game Camp. I just watched that for like 2 hours. So excuse me. The New Orleans Game Camp had a midpoint check-in that just ended like 15 minutes ago, and now this is the New Orleans Game Developers Meetup, which we do every third Thursday of the month. For those of you that used to come to the in-person meetups, we would have a happy hour about an hour beforehand, and then go to a local creator space or co-working spot and do monthly rotating presentations. Sometimes that would be game demos. We also hosted the global game jam there, presentations, various other things. While it is now online, we very much like to keep that same spirit. So if there's anything that you're interested in showcasing in some of the coming months, please do not hesitate to let us know. The QR code there is for our Discord server. We are very active on there, and every Tuesday we have a hack night where people just join the voice channels and code, share screens of coding, level design, artwork, whatever.
You know what? If you don't have a phone and you can't scan that QR code, you can check the description of this video on the YouTubes, where you must be watching this because it's the only place that it exists. So you go down there, you get invited to our Discord, you can come join the community, you can be a part of the fun.
Cool. Thank you. So yeah, I think that's that slide.
Yeah, that is that slide. It's a very nice slide.
It was good. News things. So once again, please join the Discord. Reach out to us if you have anything interesting to share. We'll do our best to probably post reminders just as like a heads up, because I know a bunch of people are working on cool things and we'd love to give you the opportunity to share them. So with that, I think we're going to introduce Calder.
Yes.
He is also known as Crawl Door, which took me way too long to get.
Mr. Calder, we're going to ask you to unmute, sir.
Hi, I'm Calder, and I am helping out or help organizing the Sea Cape Cranberry Game Jam. You guys want me to just go on a spiel real quick?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
go for it.
All right, so Cranberry Game Jam, what is it? Cranberry Game Jam is our attempt at Sea Cave to really kind of ask y'all to show off what you got. We're building an arcade cabinet pretty much dedicated to the New Orleans game dev community, built from the ground up for y'all, by y'all. So we have a couple of options, but before I get into that, I just want to get into it. It's going to be a one stick to 6 buttons. So that's 12 buttons and 2 sticks total. Think like a Street Fighter 2, like that. And essentially, it's going to have a regular old PC in it, and it's going to play whatever y'all make, be it from Unity, Unreal, HTML5, or just pretty much anything that could run on a PC that isn't like extremely exorbitant in terms of like graphical power. It'll be fine to run on this, and we want to show off what you got. We're going to get into more of like submitting games outside of this jam, but the point of this jam is to get some stuff on it right now. And so for the next, I guess after tomorrow, the next 9 days after that, we're going to be hosting a jam. And during this jam, we're going to have a vague theme that we will totally tell y'all tomorrow, but not right now. And we'll be hosting most of it probably through this Discord and Twitch. And all of it will be pretty much with the focus of making something for this arcade cabinet. If you want to make it for something else that also works outside of that, totally fine. But just keep in mind that the idea is get it to run on that sort of a setup. Additionally, since it's 9 days, we're going to have plenty of people around here to help out. I know personally, like I'm planning on hosting even a small little asset creation class just for like 3D stuff or 2D stuff, just to kind of help people out who might need some. I've been trying to get people involved in this who maybe it's their first time making games, or maybe it's like their first time venturing outside of programming or want to do art or something like that. And I'm going to host just little things. And I'll make little announcements in the game jams set up over there. What is probably more important is, one, you should know about that Game Jams side panel on the Discord. If you're on the Discord right now, it's right under games. Super useful for me to have that around to organize stuff, but please be wary of what's in there. Two, you should go to the website ccabgamejam.com, and you should totally sign up on the itch. It'll help us organize better, have a good idea of who's actually signed up, how many people we need to accommodate for, etc. There's also a link to the Discord in there as well. And in the Discord, introduce yourself if you're working on a game. Say what you do, say what you want to do. And if you're looking for teammates, ask like kind of what you want to do. There are plenty of like really talented folk, and I'm sure there's going to be more than a couple people who'd be happy to help out in whatever you want to do. As far as how the game jam is going to go, around 7 o'clock tomorrow, we're going to have our sort of opening ceremony where we go over the theme and we can answer any additional questions y'all might have live. But we're going to probably then after that mostly just sort of Twitch our game development or things pertinent to the jam. Maybe some stuff at Sea Cave, maybe some stuff outside of it. It would also be pretty prudent of me to tell y'all that, of course, this game jam is entirely virtual. You can meet up with your friends if you want. I can't stop you, but we will not be hosting this in any sort of centralized location. We don't want to get anyone sick. That would be a very silly thing to do. Last thing I want to mention that I was totally going to mention again, that cab itself, if we swap to it, that's going to be y'all's baby as well. And what I mean by that is every part of that exterior, I want as many people as possible to come by and paint on it and carve into it and put little figurines on it and add lights if you want, or make cutouts for the marquee light up top. I'm going to have some days scheduled. The last 3 days of the jam, and I'll have a Google table available for y'all, where if you have the time, it's going to be outside. You can come by, you can mutilate the dang thing, put whatever you want on it, and just knowing that the next person in line also has the ability to do so. So come by, put your weird stuff on the cab so it can truly kind of be a product of the New Orleans game dev community. And with that said, I feel like I've rambled a lot, and I probably missed a few things. Is there anything is there any questions or anything, I guess, from the YouTube chat? Let me see.
I think there was a question in the chat, like, do you have to stick with the theme to have it in the cabinet?
Of course not. I imagine how I'm setting up the cabinet itself is I'm using a program called Attract Mode. And Attract Mode can kind of separate what a certain category is for a certain game. Usually they do it for like, these are Super Nintendo games you can play on the arcade cabinet, potentially legally, potentially not legally. But what I'm going to do is basically say like, these are stuff made for the Cranberry Jam. These are stuff made by potentially local producer or whatever. I would ask that maybe in the spirit of the jam, it would be cool if y'all did something within theme. That said, theme is not going to be genre intensive. Theme is going to be far closer to like vague aesthetic thematics. Nothing like how Ludum Dare kind of does the use your health as a resource. More of like make a game about just the moon and something sort of more esoteric like that. But yeah, you don't have to do it like that. I'll have stuff that you can submit your other games constantly available to y'all, and I'll have that sort of run up for tomorrow's Twitch meeting as well. So if you want to just submit something and just have it as a thing outside of the game jam, totally fine. We'll accommodate you.
So, why don't you tell me this one, Mr. Calder?
Yeah,
What if like you got a game and like one that you've been working on or like you've made before, and you hear that theme tomorrow at 7 p.m. when we announce it. Could you just like make that game fit the theme, or like maybe I'm a lunatic and I think it already fits the theme? Like, would that be cool?
I would say, considering that I'm going to like sort of segment these off in terms of what they're submitted for, I don't necessarily think that it would be a great idea to slot them in with all of our Game Jam games, because I think there might just be like a slight hint of disingenuous sort of intent in trying to make a game that you maybe worked on for months and group it in with a bunch of things people worked on for 9 days. But with that said, I also don't care. I will host that game on that cab. I want everyone's games on that cab, ideally. So if you send me that game, it may not be posted in the same sort of presentation or folder as the Cranberry Game Jam, but it'll totally exist in that cab, and I'll totally put it on there, and I'll totally give it pretty art to show it off. Just probably won't live in the exact sort of section of the Cranberry Game Jam on that cabinet, but it'll be on that cabinet.
Okay, riddle me this, Calder.
Oh yeah. Riddles.
I'm making a game, and I want one player to use both joysticks and all the buttons. Is that a problem?
Probably not. The way that these joysticks work is they both go into sort of USB panels. If that's the case, what I can try to do is make sure they run on joy to key setups, and if that, I can just as easily have that work out for your game and create a special profile so that would be the case. So yeah, have fun with the setups there. Think of something weird. Make a twin stick thing if you want to. Make a game where all you're doing is playing all 12 of those buttons like a piano. That'd be cool.
So, this is for an arcade, right? An arcade setting. You think of arcade games as like sort of quarter munching type of ordeals. What if I have an idea for a game and it's not an arcade game, but I want people in an arcade to play it?
Well, I think that you are an intrepid individual, and I love your spirit. And what I would say is, yeah, I'll totally put it on there. The only thing I would ask is I would really want everyone to have an easy sort of shortcut to quit the game if there's something like that. Like not nested within 1,000 menus, just an easy way to just drop the EXE and leave, and not sort of corrupt anything like that. Additionally, like the other thing that's good about arcade games on that cab is, even though we're going to have 2 terabytes on that thing to host all of your games, like if you're putting your 70 gigabyte magnum opus, be courteous of those who may also want to host theirs on this thing. Like, keep in mind that, yeah, there's a spirit of arcade games that this is intended for, although it can accommodate things otherwise. Also, keep in mind, like, totally can't use conventional control schemes that, like, maybe you'd be used to, like, a mouse and keyboard or something like that.
Very interesting.
Yeah, that's given us a lot to think about. I think, maybe I'm looking forward to what everyone's making out that's outside the box, or
It should be a wacky and fun time.
Yes.
Which I think is what we all need these dark times.
Okay, so if people are interested and they want to find out more, right, they could definitely go to ccabgamejam.com.
They can do that, or if they need to save like a second, they can go to ccabjam.com. Both of them work.
Damn.
Ooh.
Hitting us with the double whammy. That is some an unexpected turn of events.
What? That is a plot twist. And that website has everything, including the link to the itch.io game jam where you can register and things of that nature. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I should also say this is a 9-day game jam, but if you want to just join in for 5 days, if you want to just join in for 3 days, if you like have a packed schedule, totally fine. I'm not gonna sit there and say you didn't join day one that you can't join later. So registration will pretty much be open up until the last 3 days or so, or last 2 days to be realistic, because I think people can still make great games in 48 hours. People can make better games in 9 days. So we'll be open. If you want to be a late joiner, if you have friends that you think you can kind of wrangle into joining later on, always happy to have more people.
And I'm kind of glad that you mentioned making great games in 48 hours. I myself am a bit of a late bloomer, but I've also been the host of the Global Game Jam here in New Orleans for the last 2 years, which is a 48-hour game jam. Not to steal the show from here, I don't really have much to say about it next year, other than it's going to be completely online. I'll have more information later. But yeah, I was just using that as a segue to talk about that. I had no actual question to ask.
Wow, Curtis.
I'm
Wow.
very inconsiderate that way.
No,
What?
because now people are thinking more about game jams, and they're getting the little neurons are firing in their heads. You know,
I like the way it's got things.
Yeah.
it feels more like Christmas.
Speaking
Thanks.
of which, I believe this might actually be the last meetup of the year. We typically don't do in the past, because it's been in real life. We don't do a December one, but we will definitely keep that in mind as we talk about other things and give a little bit of space and time where we kind of finagle and just make things up to give people on Discord time to.
Yeah. Anyone got some stuff to say? You got questions to ask? You got what's your favorite flavor of hot dog? Do hot dogs have flavors? I don't think so.
Oh,
Mint-
dude,
mint
have you ever
chocolate
been to
chip is my favorite
7-Eleven?
hot dog.
Absolutely. Like 7-Eleven has like 9 different types of hot dogs. It's really impressive. Those little rollers, there's a variety.
Believe it or not, I don't think I've ever been to a 7-Eleven.
Really?
Yeah.
They're kind of rad.
Yeah. If you want to eat for $3 and you have 4, it's a great opportunity.
You get an extra
I'm speaking
dollar.
from experience. Like,
Yeah.
if you have $4 and you're like, man, San Francisco's really expensive. Why is their dollar menu like $1.50 to $2 an item? Like, what the truck? You can go to 7-Eleven.
It's real good.
Damn.
It's worth it.
That does really sound like be hitting the
Oh.
spot.
Also, Sea Cave is like kind of speakeasy open if you got your masks and you're happy with social distancing. Typically, I think 8 to midnight tonight, tomorrow night, and Sunday. If you want to come by and look at the cab, and be smart, come be smart, but also wear your mask, socially distance, do all the smart things.
Understood. Thank you for the additional information. I think this is just about all the time we have today. No additional comments. As always, thank you for taking your time. We're totally gonna turn on this camera in 3, 2, click.
There we go.
There we go. All right.
Sweet.
So
Yeah, well, thank you, Mr. Calder, the king himself, for
That's
joining
me.
us tonight.
Yes.
Thank you for telling us about the wonderful Cranberry Game Jam, which everyone watching can and shall and will participate in.
Yeah.
Because there's no such thing as free will, and you are all slaves to my every whim and desire.
Is that a call to action?
That's as good a reason as any to do something, I suppose. So thank you. Have a great night. Stay safe. Preferably stay home. Or go check out an arcade cabinet. It's free will is a thing. And we will see you at the next Tech Night next Tuesday. So if we don't see you before then, have a great night.